If you're ambitious but lazy, brother, this is for you. This is why 2026 is going to be different, because this framework here that I'm going to teach you today is something that's unlocked something in me that has made my life much more sustainable going into this year. I don't think a lot of us do this because we want to remain lazy or because we don't care about our lives. I think, in fact, we care way too much about our lives. So naturally, we remain stuck because we're afraid of the unknown. We are afraid of what the change can cost us. Because let's face it, if we actually do the thing we say we wanted to do, well, then we can't really hide behind that excuse anymore. Now, I'm telling you this as somebody who is currently in it, not someone who's already made it. So a lot of people are going to use the same exact title, and what they're going to tell you is how to make it and all that. You're going to see them, they're going to be in their private jets, they're going to have all their makeup on, they're going to look pretty buff, they're going to be speaking in front of business conferences. It's envious almost, but I speak to you as somebody who's still on the path with you, and I think my perspective here will be a little bit different than what they're going to tell you. Because, brother, once you actually try, you got to face what this is actually asking you to become and everything that it takes. I don't really think that ambitious people are lazy. I think the problem with it is that we think that our ambition's too intense. How many people around you do you know that when you share your dreams and all that, they think it's a little bit outlandish? That it's a little bit over the top, that, oh, you think you're going to be the next big content creator, you're going to get like super jacked and have an amazing physique. And it's like, you share your dreams and sometimes you just doubt it yourself, that, am I aiming too high? Am I being realistic? Is this trajectory actually possible? Or how much am I falling for some algorithmic delusion of success that isn't actually possible? The problem is, in society, there's a lot of people who want to critique people who want to achieve great things. This sort of cynical realism that exists amongst our Gen Z folk nowadays, me being one of them. We've rejected this great man theory so much that we have neutered ourselves of the potential to be great, and then naturally we doubt ourselves. We like these big dreams because we like keeping the option open that we could be great. We like knowing that if we just put down our heads and just work, and that we could actually achieve these things, that you could have a tremendous physique, you could get really big into content, you could start that business and not have to work a dead-end job anymore, you could run for office someday, for all I know. As long as it's an option, really, nothing's at risk at all. You still have the option. You could work the next 5 years at the same dead-end job, and you can always just think to yourself, yeah, I could be great, but you'll always make up a new excuse. The moment you actually commit, the excuses disappear. You don't get to say anymore like, oh, only if I would have done that, I would have gotten results. You need to just do it. Because 5 years from now, what you're going to say is, oh, I'm too tired from work. Oh, now I have a family. Oh, now I have responsibilities. Oh, I don't have energy anymore. And it'll be the same thing, same thing. So let me tell you from my experience, I work for a content creator. I help him produce videos and all that. And I wanted to do it for myself a long time. And I joined up with him first because I didn't really have the vision to do it myself yet. And that's totally fine. But I've held back on pursuing this on my own because I've told myself, well, I'm just too tired from editing his videos, or I'm exhausted, I'm trying to help run a company. These are the excuses that we put ourselves into that will delay us by years. And I spend time like looking at other creators in the space, and some of them being younger than me. I just turned 25, and I'm like, man, there was so much more ahead of me. If only I could have done that. So it's like an inverse of envy, but at the same time, we feel so much self-deprecation and worthlessness that we haven't achieved our goals, but we really just like keeping the option open. We could do this, but we don't take the steps to do it because honestly, it feels like it'll take everything of us, because it's the fear of like, we'll have to show up different, that it'll take everything. And that the fear is really in just finding out whether we can actually do this or not. The same thing goes with my fitness. The same thing goes with consistency. The same thing goes with putting down the phone and just doing the big thing you want to do. Brother, the problem isn't that it takes everything. The problem is that everything is something so different that we're not used to. So when people say, actually, hang on, we'll do it this way. So we're afraid because change takes everything, and that everything's different than what we're used to. That scares people off, and honestly, I wouldn't blame you. You're not wrong for thinking that. But the problem is that it's not that kind of everything. I've worked to jobs before where it took everything from me. I used to work for a gym, I used to work tech support for a university, and all things considered, I had pretty cushy jobs, but mentally they were taxing while trying to do school full-time and working full-time. It was not easy, for me at least. And that took everything, having to rush from job to job to job, having to do a ton of schoolwork and really never having any downtime. That was just the season that it was demanding of us. But that season's so unique because you're forming a lot of new connections in your brain. You're learning how to be an adult for the first time that, well, naturally it's going to be intense. because your brain hasn't done these kinds of things before. But as you build up the reps, naturally you find systems that make things easier and shorter. The same thing goes for fitness and all that. 5 years ago, I gained 100 pounds. And in that process, I lost my body significantly. I had a lot of fat everywhere, and while I still haven't lost all the weight, 3 years into that, I managed to put on a lot of muscle. And objectively, I'm a lot stronger than I was when I was 100 pounds lighter. I still want to lose all that weight, but again, it goes into systems. I didn't have a good system for going to the gym consistently, and now I go fairly consistently. I've built up the reps. In the same way, with nutrition, that's been my Achilles heel for the last 5 years. This year, I actually finally started to build a system where I can meal prep. I bought a whole freezer where I can stuff meals that I've already made. I bought cookbooks from creators I like that make things easy for me to cook and all that. I've learned to develop a love of cooking. It takes everything of us to make these gigantic changes, but these changes are everything for us because they are systems that make things easier for us to go forward. So we like keeping the option open that we can achieve these changes, and then we fear doing these changes because it requires everything different than what we're used to. But the reality of that is that you will build systems that will make it easier as you go along. You don't need to see the mountain and think you're Sisyphus rolling up a rock to the top of the hill and it's going to keep rolling back down. If you look at it that way, well, you're going to be doing that for the next 5-10 years. And I know you don't want that. Rather, as you roll the rock up the hill, you're going to be finding tips, tricks, ways to make it easier. So you need to go through the process. You need to go through the dip in order to achieve that height that you want to achieve. Greatness is coming only if you allow it to. Only if you allow yourself to put in the work and actually do the thing. It means less scrolling. It means less gaming at night. It means less addictive spirals, and you know exactly what I mean. It means some habits and some perspectives and some people in your old life don't get to come with you, because the change that it takes to get there is going to take everything of your old self. And that's the part nobody wants to admit, that you can't just will your way into change. It's not a matter of just grinding hard enough. It's a matter of doing the inner growth, become somebody who can do that. This change takes everything for you because you have to say no to the things you used to say yes to, all the distractions and all that. And if you walk with the Lord like I do, it takes everything from you because you need to submit to him, because he will guide your path if he's called you in this direction. If Simon Peter would have not given up being a fisherman because that was the most economically smart option and not followed Jesus, he would never become Saint Peter. And in the same way, God will provide for you in the trajectory he needs you to go in. Okay, but here's the scary part. What if we actually commit and we don't like the results of what we're getting? The question really isn't whether you're capable or not. It's the question of, are you willing to find out? Are you willing to go through the valley of the shadow of death to see what's on the other side? But brother, here's the thing. This isn't forever. This is just for a season. The excuses, the distractions, the version of you that never tries is anathema to this new season of life you want to actually achieve. If you actually want to do something different, if you want to see what God has for you, then this is the path. But here's the thing that not a lot of people are going to tell you in these videos. You don't have to overhaul your whole life today. A lot of these people who are going to use the same exact title that I am, what they're going to tell you is you need to change everything. You need to let the old self die. No more excuses. Go all in today. And it doesn't work that way, because a lot of us have regular jobs. A lot of us have regular lives. We have responsibilities. We have a wife, maybe kids if you're lucky, but it's not that easy. All I'll tell you is this. We commit by building capacity. We commit by removing the distractions that take away from our life. Like this year, I removed all social media from my phone. Well, it's 2026 today, so last year. I brought so much peace to my life. I wasted less time scrolling that I actually got to be more intentional. I got better at my editing. I got better at my writing. I journaled more. And I built the emotional intelligence, the emotional capacity to handle more tasks instead of feeling like constant burnout. I let the burnout ease. I took it easy on several other fronts to build the capacity that created the ability to take on more. So we overhaul our lives by building capacity, not by taking more on, because everyone else is going to tell you, you just need to grind harder, you need to do more. But brother, let's be realistic. That's not possible for everybody. For some people that'll work, but that won't work forever. Because if you grind too hard, you'll burn yourself out and you'll go back into your addictive spirals and it will never end. You probably already know the one area you need to be avoiding. Whether it's stuff you probably shouldn't be watching online, or constant spirals in just junk media, or gaming your life away, or spending all night talking to ChatGPT thinking you're being productive, or you're just avoiding the gym saying that I don't have time, my job doesn't have flexibility, or you just don't go on walks because it's too cold out or whatever, but you don't think creatively enough to solve these problems. You don't overhaul it by forcing it, you overhaul it by thinking in capacity. Build areas in your life to where you can have that capacity. Fight the war on different fronts. I'm working this out in real time too. I've made a lot of excuses for why I don't eat right, why I don't go to the gym, why I don't do my content stuff, why I don't put myself out there. But the reality is that the only way we can actually achieve these things is if we just try. So if you want 2026 to be any different than all the other years in your life, take the one step, build capacity somewhere. If it's as simple as just doing your dishes every night so you don't have to have the visual clutter every single day when you wake up that just drains you, or you need to pick out the clothes your night before, or I don't know what else. The best advice I could give you is you need to think in systems. Systems is everything. Systems is what will create in your mind an easier framework to get the job done. I'm not going to kid you and say I'm that ahead of you. I'm just maybe a couple of steps ahead. I know this would have helped me a couple of years ago, and I'm hoping it helps you. And I think that's where the real change is actually going to start. So if that hit home for you, I'm documenting what happens next. This year, I'm committing to putting out at least one video a week. I want to get better at this YouTube thing. I want to get better at content. I want to put my vision and my soul out into this platform to find other young men who are struggling with chronic shame, who are struggling with insanely high ambition, but low effort, to be able to find God and find healing for everything they're running from or running towards, and grow closer to Him and build a life that they've always dreamed of. So if deep down, beyond all the chaos and noise, you actually believe in yourself, well, I'll tell you, put in the work, put yourself out there, and greatness is coming. I'll see you in the next one, brother.